What is the cost of living in your new country? Before you buy a home overseas, and look at visa options, it is important to research the cost of living to make sure you can afford it. Keep in mind, countries and cities with high costs of living also tend to pay higher salaries and wages. So weigh the cost of living relative to your expected monthly earnings. Also, your real cost of living in a new city depends on how you will live in that city, not on how an average person with an average job and 2 children may live. Even more importantly, the way you live in your current city is not always the same way you will live in a new city abroad. Make sure that the income you will be bringing in will be enough, and if your bank account is not expected to be full enough to sustain the lifestyle you want to live, you might want to delay moving. Saving your money for one more year just might be the difference between barely affording your new town and enjoying all that it has to offer. From rent to food to transportation, prices for essential items vary greatly from country to country. Living overseas, if only for a brief time, can be a life-changing experience. But before you pack your bags and move thousands of miles away, you have to think about how international living will affect your wallet. Before you go, make sure you do your research, so you know exactly what to expect. Understand how much living abroad costs. Once you find an affordable area, you can start deciding between buying or renting, and what kind of property you want to buy or rent. In any country, the cost of living is usually lower in small cities and small towns. So, if you need to keep your expenses down, avoid moving to the center of a major city. Instead, opt for a smaller town or a small neighborhood a few miles outside the city's hub. However, there are a lot of other things to take into consideration before you arrive in your new country. In addition to housing costs, research the cost of monthly utilities, transportation, food, entertainment, and health insurance. These expenses vary considerably around the world. Utilities include heat, electricity, and water, phone bills, smartphone data plans, education and monthly Wi-Fi connections. What about transportation? If you are traveling by train or bus, make sure you know the cost of public transportation. If you prefer driving, determine how much you will need to pay for a car and how much you can expect to pay for gas. Also, look into the cost of dining at home and out in restaurants or at fast food establishments. Look up the prices of beer, alcohol, coffee, or whatever it is you like to drink. Of course, you are going to explore your new city, so make sure you will have enough disposable for that. What you can expect to pay for tickets to movies, theaters, concerts, sporting events, gym membership cost. Determine how much you will need to pay each month for healthcare, medications or international health insurance. Some countries have nationalized healthcare systems. Others may require you to have private health insurance to get a good care. Are you moving with children? In this case, make sure you understand the cost of education. You may want to send your child to a free public school or pay for private education at an international school. If you are still working, you may have to consider how the move will affect your retirement plan contributions. The most expensive countries to live are Singapore, United Arab Emirates, the United States, Australia, Denmark, Switzerland, New Zealand. Some of the most expensive cities to live are Hong Kong, Tokyo, Zurich, Paris, Shanghai, and New York City. Some of the most affordable countries to live in are also some of the most beautiful in the world and some of the best destinations for retirees like Mexico and Thailand. For example, you may rent a house in Cancun 40 minutes outside of the hotel zone for $150. Before the 70s, Cancun didn't exist as such. It was basically an empty wasteland. Then, suddenly, the Mexican government decided to create an artificial tropical paradise in this piece of land and people suddenly started to arrive. The cost of living in Cancun suddenly rose. I am suggesting not to discount a city based on cost of living articles in newspapers. Researchers will never be able to adjust for the different way you will live in each city. Not surprisingly, I know a lot of people that want to live and work in Zurich. But if you believe the headlines, Zurich is prohibitively expensive. At least visit and see for yourself before deferring your dreams for a day that may never come. There is no doubt that you will make incredible memories living in a foreign country. The experience will be even better if you can afford to enjoy it. But when you're thousands of miles away, it is essential to have financial stability. Thank you for watching the video. If you watch all my lectures, you may be able to start investing in rental properties a little quicker. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell to get alerts when a new video is posted. Please write your comments, questions, or concerns you would like to share.